I was picking up the last of my things when my neighbor suddenly stopped me in the hallway. He frowned, looking uncomfortable. Hey, could you maybe keep it down at night? I froze, confused. What do you mean? The walls are paper thin. Every night I can hear you, you know. It's really loud. And look, I'm a single guy living alone. It's kind of torture, if you know what I mean. He gestured toward the door behind me. That was the apartment I'd shared. With my fiancé. But I hadn't been there in over a year. Chapter 1. I stood there clutching the ring box in my hand, feeling like I'd been plunged into ice water despite the sunny day. I stared at him and asked again, what do you mean? Seeing my genuine confusion, he patiently explained. Recently at night, you've been really loud. Look, I get it's a normal need and all, but could you maybe tone it down a bit? These walls are seriously thin. I can hear everything. My throat felt like it was stuffed with cotton. I couldn't speak. Finally, I dug my nails into my palm and asked. You mean me? He raised an eyebrow and laughed, pointing at the apartment behind me. You live here, don't you? Then he pulled out his phone, swiped a few times, and showed me a photo. This is your boyfriend, right? The photo showed a sunset view from a balcony. A shirtless man leaned against the railing, cigarette dangling from his lips, radiating post-sex satisfaction. The face was partially obscured, but I recognized him instantly. My fiancé of 5 years. Last night he'd been patiently discussing wedding flower arrangements with me. Chapter 2. With our wedding approaching, Ryan had been especially busy these past few months. Between traveling for business and handling wedding preparations, he was constantly on the go. This morning he'd kissed my forehead before leaving, pinching my cheek with a smile. I've got a mission for you. Think about what special touches you want for the ceremony. I'd playfully punched his arm, trying to make me do all the work again. But I couldn't hide my smile. I'd already decided. For the ceremony, I wanted to exchange our new wedding rings for the first promise rings he'd given me. Back when he was just starting his business, we were broke as hell. We'd squeezed into a tiny studio apartment, the smell of grease and rotting floorboards our constant companion. It was there that Ryan used his first real paycheck to buy matching diamond promise rings, just 0.1 carats each. He'd gotten down on one knee, the tiny diamonds catching the light and making my eyes water. The first thing I'd managed to say through my hands was, "How much did these cost?" He'd wiped my tears gently, voice soft. "Don't cry, Lily. I'm going to make so much money. You'll never have to cry over something like this again." Then he'd pointed at the luxury high-rises across from our building. "See those? I'm going to buy us a place there, and then we'll get married." Now, he'd kept every promise. The day we moved into our penthouse, the man who'd never cried through all our struggles sobbed into my shoulder. "Lily, I did it. I didn't let you down." Chapter 3. We'd gone through several sets of rings since then. That first pair had been put away long ago. I'd torn the house apart looking but couldn't find them. The last time I remembered wearing them was back at the old apartment. Ryan had bought that studio for sentimental reasons. He said it was where our love story began. And now, clutching the ring box with trembling hands, I struggled to control my emotions as I told the man. "I haven't been here in over a year." His expression shifted, and after a long pause, he said, "I'm sorry." I took several deep breaths, fumbling with my phone. I entered the wrong passcode 3 times before finally unlocking it. "Could I get your number?" After he added me, he gave me a meaningful look. "I'm Marcus. Let me know if you need anything." I had no energy to analyze his expression. I stumbled home in a daze. Only when I collapsed on the bed, still clutching the ring box, did reality hit me. I opened our new chat and typed, "If you see the man in the photo come back, could you let me know?" He replied quickly, "They just got back." Chapter 4. I stared at that message for what felt like forever. Opening my chat with Ryan, our last exchange was from this afternoon. "Babe, boarding now. Should land around 8 p.m. Make sure you eat dinner even if I'm not there." He'd attached a photo from the plane window. I checked the time, 7:30 p.m. I typed and deleted several messages before finally sending, "Let me know when you land." Then I immediately called an Uber to the old apartment. The whole ride, I kept telling myself maybe I'd misidentified him. The photo was so blurry, could have been anyone. But all my excuses, all the outs I tried to give Ryan, shattered when I reached the apartment door. On the doormat sat a pair of shoes, the ones he'd worn this morning. The ones I'd picked out for him myself. A door opened beside me. Marcus appeared, raising an eyebrow. "Come in. You can hear better from here." Chapter 5. "Ryan baby, aren't you getting married soon? How do you still have time for me?" Through the thin wall, a woman's flirtatious voice came through crystal clear. Then came the voice I knew so well I couldn't lie to myself anymore. "This is the last time." The woman seemed unsatisfied with that answer, whining playfully. "You say that every time. Can your wife take care of you like I do?" Ryan didn't answer. Through the wall, all I could hear were violent thudding sounds and the woman's escalating moans. After what felt like forever, Ryan's voice drifted over. "You're a smart girl. The money will be in your account. Let's not see each other again." I couldn't take it anymore. Covering my mouth, I stumbled to the bathroom and threw up violently. I'd barely eaten all day, so it was mostly acid burning my throat. Tears streamed down with it, making me look pathetic. Ding ding ding. My phone chimed repeatedly. I had no energy to check. Then it started ringing. The ringtone echoed through the small apartment. It was the song Ryan and I loved most. When you finally understand all of this, our fingers intertwined. The lyrics felt like a cruel joke now. Marcus walked over and picked up my phone. Not answering. I stood frozen at the sink, overwhelmed by grief, anger, and confusion. My brain couldn't function. The phone rang for minutes. Next door, they seemed to hear it and realize something was wrong. The sound of a door opening, then knocking. Hello? Anyone there? It was Ryan at the door. I quickly silenced my phone. Marcus walked to the peephole, looked through, then turned to me questioningly. The knocking continued. Unable to wait for an answer, I opened our chat. Ryan had just texted. Just landed baby, still taxiing. With a photo attached. In the cabin, his sleeve rolled up, wrist resting casually on his leg, wedding ring visible on his finger. Looking at his completely different colored sleeve from the earlier photo, my mind went blank. His deception wasn't even sophisticated. I just trusted him too much to notice these details. The knocking grew more urgent, his voice taking on an edge. Is anyone home? Chapter 6. I was never a forgiving person. Of course I wanted to storm next door right now, slap him and that woman, strip them naked and throw them on the street for everyone to see. But after playing that scene in my head, I asked myself then what? What would I get? I'd spent 5 years helping Ryan grow from a nobody to someone everyone called Mr. Hayes, with respect. Afterward, people would just joke about how wild Ryan Hayes used to be. And me? What would I get? Would I deserve this? I wasn't satisfied with that. I dug my nails into my palm, forcing myself to stay calm. I whispered to Marcus. Help me cover. Marcus nodded, grabbed his phone and pretended to take a call while opening the door. Sorry, wife's calling, didn't hear the door. What's up? I heard a notification sound outside, then Ryan's voice. Sorry, wrong apartment. My mistake. Footsteps faded away. I collapsed on the floor. I didn't understand. He'd loved me so much, cherished me for 5 years, noticed if my eyes were even slightly red. How could he cheat? While I was still making excuses for him, the woman's shrill voice came through the wall. What were you thinking? How could your wife possibly be here? We've done this so many times. When have we ever been caught? Chapter 7. The noise next door died down. Marcus walked over and patted my shoulder. His lips moved like he wanted to comfort me, but all he managed was, don't take it too hard. There are plenty of men out there. My gaze drifted past his shoulder to the neon lights outside. My mind began replaying. Every moment Ryan wasn't with me. All those times I'd prayed for his safe travel, so many were real business trips. Those check-in photos, daily updates, what was real and what was fake. In this place he called, where our love began, how many times had he cheated? Did he give that woman promise rings here too? Seeing me zone out, Marcus called my name softly, like a whisper. Lily. Start fresh. I gave a quiet Lost in my thoughts, I didn't notice he knew my name. I just asked numbly. How long has this been going on? Chapter 8. Marcus said he'd moved in about 6 months ago. During that time, he'd heard similar sounds every few weeks. I looked down and laughed bitterly. 6 months ago, right when Ryan proposed. Seeing my state, Marcus tried earnestly to console me. Finding out before marriage is always a blessing. You've got your whole life ahead. I looked into his dark eyes and smiled. Okay, thank you. Would you do me another favor? He raised an eyebrow. Next time there's activity next door, could you let me know? He flashed that signature bad boy grin. Sure thing. Back home, I tossed the ring box in a drawer. Then texted Ryan. When are you coming home? He replied instantly, Lily, why are you still up? Tomorrow. Working late tonight to finish the proposal, catching the morning flight. I didn't reply. Instead, I opened our photo album, scrolling through every picture from when we met until now. From college campus to the big city, from that rundown studio to our luxury penthouse. The photos got clearer. But the Ryan who'd brought me his whole heart grew blurrier. I couldn't help remembering his confession, back when he was young and shy. His face red, voice barely a whisper. Lily, I've liked you for so long. Will you be with me? I'll always be good to you. Now society had polished away his sincerity and passion, leaving only smooth calculation. Looking at the cute emoji he'd sent, I'd made my decision. This wedding was definitely off. But I needed to walk away with something to make it fair. I'd told him before I wanted lots of love. And lots of money. Now the love was gone, so the gap needed to be filled with even more money. Finding out about the woman was easy. Soon I had her full story. Her name was Sophia, a gold digger who'd latched onto Ryan at business dinners. Besides Ryan, she was juggling several other men. All rich, of course. Seems she really loved money. Perfect. I created a fake account and sent a friend request. My message was simple. Want to marry Ryan Hayes and become the official Mrs. Hayes? She accepted immediately. I looked at her heavily filtered profile pic and sent. I can help you marry him. She replied instantly, what do you mean? Who are you? To her barrage of questions, I didn't respond, just logged off the fake account. The bait was set. No rush to reel it in. Next day, Ryan arrived home as promised. He looked exhausted, clothes still damp with morning dew, the perfect picture of a weary business traveler. Baby, did you miss me? He moved to hug me. But I dodged. He immediately sensed something wrong, pulling back his hands and asking softly. What's wrong? Mad I came back late? I didn't look at him, just stared at his exposed cuffs. Different from yesterday's photos again. After a moment, I worked up the right emotional tone. Have you ever lied to me? Panic flashed in Ryan's eyes. He immediately grabbed my shoulders, promising. Lily, how could I lie to you? Did someone say something? All these years, from big company decisions to what time I'd be home, I've never lied to you. Don't overthink, okay? His eyes reddened, voice dropping to nothing. Lily, I love you. Please don't doubt me. I laughed internally. Maybe he didn't even realize how nervous he got when lying, how different from usual. But he was impressive, declaring love while sleeping with another woman. The boy who'd cried promising me a better life seemed to have vanished. His palms were sweaty as he gripped my hands. Before he could continue defending himself, I patted his hand, softening. I was joking. Saw some online relationship test and tried it. He didn't relax, instead staring at me intently. Baby, that joke isn't funny at all. Seeing his seriousness, I dropped the fake smile and asked earnestly, so you've really never lied to me? He answered firmly, never. Before I could press further, he abruptly changed topics. Enough of this. Did you decide on the ceremony details? I thought for a moment, any ceremony is fine, but I want a big wedding. Invite all our friends and family, maybe some press too. Ryan looked at me in surprise. Seeing I was serious, he asked. I thought you didn't. Like crowds? Why invite press? I squeezed his fingers, smiling. A stable marriage helps the company's image too. Chapter 10. Maybe that really was the last time, or maybe my probing made Ryan wary. Recently, he'd stopped his fake business trips, instead spending every moment by my side. He'd reverted to how he was in our studio days, picking me up from work daily, cooking different meals from recipes each night. On weekends when his company was quiet, I dragged him shopping for wedding preparations. But we unexpectedly ran into Sophia at a luxury boutique. She clung to her companion's arm, pointing coyly at the purse I'd been eyeing. I love this one. Buy it for me, please. The man indulged her, sure, whatever you like. Ryan visibly stiffened when he saw Sophia. Sophia pretended to notice us just then, calling out in fake surprise, Mr. Hayes. What a coincidence. Ryan's grip on my hand tightened. I smiled at him, you know each other? He explained gently, former employee. I didn't ask why he remembered a random former employee so clearly. Instead, I turned to Sophia, what a coincidence. We have the same taste. I love this bag too. Sophia smiled at me, but her eyes kept drifting to Ryan. It's my luck to like the same things as you, Lily. That made Ryan's fake smile crack. He squeezed my pinky, coaxing, the bags next door are better. Let's look there. I pretended not to notice their obvious tension, giving Sophia's companion a meaningful look before letting Ryan lead me away. At home, Ryan remained tense all evening. He kept starting to say something, then stopping. At dinner, he finally spoke. Lily, I just remembered that employee was fired for inappropriate conduct. I set down my fork. Why bring this up now? He explained, just warning you. Someone like that, don't get too close. I couldn't help smiling. How funny's the one tangled in her sheets, yet he's warning me about her character. Which of his words were true? Which were lies? Chapter 11. As the wedding approached, Ryan suddenly changed the digital invitations to physical ones. He pestered me to handwrite guest names, saying it was more meaningful. Worn down, I agreed and started copying names with a fountain pen. Halfway through, his phone rang. He glanced at the caller ID, turned away and walked a few steps before answering. I told you, stop bothering me. I kept writing, asking casually, client? He gave a soft and walked toward the living room. Until I couldn't hear him anymore. My phone rang too. The man's voice brimmed with pride. Lily, mission accomplished. I smiled, good job. Money will transfer on schedule. Pleasure doing business. After hanging up, I continued with the invitations. Ryan finished his call and returned, asking. Why so happy? Just closed a smooth deal, I answered casually. He ruffled my hair apologetically. Something urgent at the company. You'll have to eat alone tonight, baby. Without waiting for my response, he rushed out. Watching him leave, I spaced out briefly, then picked up my pen and carefully wrote on the bride's line. Sophia. That day at the boutique, Sophia's companion was someone I'd hired. A professional who pretended to be rich to scam gold diggers. I'd paid him to pose as a wealthy man, pursue Sophia, encourage her spending, and get her deep in debt. That call was probably Sophia begging Ryan for help. They're here. A text interrupted my thoughts. Marcus. I asked, want to see the wedding drama? He replied, sure, should be exciting. It will be. I switched to my fake account. Sophia had sent many messages over the past weeks. Growing more desperate. Back off. I have a boyfriend. Who are you? Are you Lily? Is what you said true? Why should I trust you? The last one came this morning. What should I do? Who I was didn't matter now. What mattered was she desperately needed someone to pay her debts. Ryan was her best option. He should be with her now, so I replied. Get pregnant. Doesn't matter if it's his. Chapter 12. Ryan didn't come home all night. He finally returned the next morning. Disheveled. He moved to hug me, but I covered my nose and backed away. What's that smell? He froze, sniffing himself and playing it casual. Probably cigarette smoke from the meeting. I'll shower. The moment he entered the bathroom, Sophia messaged. Then what? I replied, on Ryan's wedding day, put on a wedding dress. The car will pick you up. You are Lily? I raised an eyebrow. Even knowing who I was, she had no choice now. Send me all your intimate photos with Ryan. I'll help you marry him. Ding ding. Ding. Explicit photos flooded in. She asked anxiously. You won't trick me, right? No. You'll definitely be the one marrying him. Time flew. Soon it was the wedding eve. Since the groom couldn't see the bride before the ceremony, Ryan booked me a 5-star hotel for the night. At the hotel entrance, he wouldn't let go of my hand, visibly anxious. Lily, we're getting married tomorrow, but I don't know why I feel so panicked. You'll marry me, right? I touched the face of the man I'd loved for 5 years, feeling only disgust and hate. He'd probably sensed something was off lately but couldn't imagine what I was planning. For his deception, I had to give him an unforgettable gift. I avoided his question. Ryan, tomorrow we'll both get what we deserve. The next morning, I picked up Sophia early. Seeing me, she showed no surprise, just held her stomach defensively. I'm pregnant. I smiled, don't worry. Ryan's a cash cow to you, nothing to me. I helped her with the veil, put her in the wedding car, then had another driver take a shortcut to the venue. Marcus had arrived even earlier. Hands in pockets, leaning lazily against a pillar, he said. I'm skipping work for this show. Better be worth it. I glanced at him teasingly, suddenly finding him familiar. Before I could place him, commotion erupted downstairs. The wedding car had arrived. Ryan helped Sophia from the car. Through the heavy veil with her head down, neither Ryan nor the guests noticed anything wrong. Until they reached the altar and Ryan lifted the veil, shoving Sophia away in disbelief. Why are you here? Where's Lily? Before Sophia could speak, I hit play on the projector. The wedding photos of Ryan and me instantly switched to videos of him and Sophia. In that familiar studio apartment, they were naked, skin against skin, making disgusting sounds. The crowd erupted. Reporters' cameras flashed, capturing the shocking scene. Within hours, Ryan's reputation would be ruined. His parents rushed on stage and slapped him hard. You disgrace. How did I raise a son like you? Ryan stood there with a bright red handprint, looking up until our eyes met. He tried to push through the crowd toward me, but Sophia grabbed his arm desperately. She announced, I'm pregnant. The room fell silent. Ryan's carefully maintained composure finally cracked completely. He took a deep breath, turned and said something to Sophia. She gradually let go and walked to his parents. He abandoned the chaos and walked determinedly toward me. He stopped 3 feet away. You knew all along? I looked at him silently. Without waiting for an answer, he laughed bitterly. I used to think being with you was enough for a lifetime. But people change. What I want now isn't just that. So that's your excuse for cheating? He looked at me deeply, as if mocking my naivety. You know why stories always end at happily ever after? Because even authors know the ending can't really be together forever. Faced with temptation, I could resist once, twice, 3 times. But 100 times? 1,000? I'm not a saint. I couldn't do it. I know you won't believe anything I say now, but I have to say it, Lily, I really did love you. Even now. I still do. I looked at my transformed former lover and laughed coldly. Ryan, don't you think I faced temptation too all these years? You think no one tried to pursue me? Those business partners of yours didn't some have happy families? Why could I resist when you couldn't? In the end, you just got rich, got cocky, wanted both marriage and excitement. Spare me the love talk. Stop lying to me and yourself. He tried to say more but Sophia interrupted. She spoke softly, playing the dutiful wife. Mom and Dad are calling for you. Ryan's parents had always wanted grandchildren, pushing me to have kids for years. Now with Sophia pregnant, they were surely more thrilled than shocked. Between his parents and public pressure, Ryan would have to marry Sophia whether he wanted to or not. Before leaving, I left him with congratulations to the happy couple. Chapter 13. But Ryan's happiness was short-lived. After the wedding scandal broke, signed deals fell through. Company stock plummeted. I bought up shares at rock-bottom prices. Combined with what I already owned, I became the majority shareholder. After the dust settled, I auctioned everything off. Adding Ryan's money I'd been managing plus the wedding gifts, I was set for life. Ryan called frantically. Lily, why be so ruthless? I never mistreated you all these years. I gave you most of what I earned. How could you scheme against me like this? He brought up those first rings. Remember the first rings I bought you? We survived those hard times together. Why betray me now? I laughed. Betray? Between us, who betrayed whom? As for those rings, I already returned them. Go find them yourself, see what they're worth now. For Sophia, I had someone compile a timeline of all her rich boyfriends and post it online. Internet sleuths quickly discovered that while she was with Ryan, she was juggling 2 other men. The online mockery spread fast. People exchanged knowing looks about her pregnancy. Ryan dragged Sophia for an abortion, refusing to believe the baby was his no matter how she cried. But they were already legally married. Baby gone, Sophia's debts remained. Looking at the astronomical bills, Ryan asked, "Where's the money?" Sophia claimed it was invested. After everything, Ryan was at the end of his rope. The company couldn't survive. It eventually changed hands. His precious career, family, children, nothing remained. Meanwhile, I was at my new place, throwing out all of Ryan's garbage. Ding. A text notification. Marcus had messaged. Celebrating your new life dinner. Chapter 14. Marcus. Lily and I were in the same club in college. But she clearly doesn't remember. Back then she was beautiful, gentle, radiant. Many people liked her, including me. After a club event, I finally worked up courage to confess. But I was too nervous, so I ordered flowers to be delivered after the event with a subtle confession note signed with my name. I didn't expect someone to beat me to it. I watched Lily holding hands with a man, standing in the classroom with a sweet smile, introducing her new boyfriend. Her eyes and heart were full of this Ryan Hayes. Sadness, heartbreak, regret washed over me. I cursed my hesitation. That's when Lily got the delivery call. I remembered my poorly timed confession and frantically called to cancel. Too late again. I watched Lily walk in with the flowers, not knowing where to look. But she just gently handed me the card, smiling. "These are from you, right? Thanks for the congrats on my relationship." Too bad the card got wet and smudged. I exhaled in relief, forcing a smile. "Just wishing you and your boyfriend eternal happiness." She nodded with a smile and returned to Ryan. I looked at the card where only Marcus was still legible, touching it sadly. She deliberately wet it. To protect a rejected man's pride. After graduation, I stayed in the city. As years passed, youth grew hazy but those gentle eyes grew clearer. I never forgot her. Later, my new place needed renovation. I needed a short-term rental. A college friend found me an apartment, saying Lily lived next door. I moved in immediately. But I never saw her, just kept running into a man. I thought she'd moved and a new couple lived there. When that vaguely familiar man kept bringing home different women, I realized something was wrong. I asked my college friend for our old club group photos. The man beside Lily was the one I kept seeing. Noise came from outside. Thinking it was that man again, I wanted to give him a piece of my mind. Opening the door, Lily stood there. She tilted her head at me, confused. "You are." Those gentle eyes appeared before me again. Hiding my feelings, I deliberately frowned. "Could you keep it down? Lily, if you're happy, I'll cry before you do. But if you're not happy, then give me another chance."